What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime coming back at you with another video. In today's video, guys, I am here to bring you all my review of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, Episode 1. So, let's get this started. So, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, Episode 1. Pretty good first impressions of this first episode. I actually really enjoyed this first episode. It was pretty decent. It really was. And I am really interested to see more of what this series could follow up later down the line. Now, many people are probably going to assume that this is either going to be an Attack on Titan ripoff, or is an Attack on Titan ripoff now, since it has now aired, or either this series is basically just to promote the possible season 2 of Attack on Titan that we will end up getting later down the line. If anything, this anime was made just so, the fans, could keep calm, because there are a lot of similarities of Attack on Titan within this animated series, especially as to what happens in the midpoint of this episode, to where we have it where the train crashes through the wall and you see the Kabaneri on top of the wall and everybody's looking at the horizon. Like, that was definitely paying homage to Attack on Titan. I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of similarities within this anime to Attack on Titan. It really is. However, I don't really think Wit Studio would go out of the way just to promote an Attack on Titan through this animated series, because of the fact the production value for this anime is through the roof. Now, me personally, I would go as far as to say that the animation within this first episode of Kabaneri the Iron Fortress is a whole lot better animated from the anime that we have now seen throughout this spring season of anime. Now, I would also go as far as to say that the animation done within this first episode of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is a whole lot better animated than Attack on Titan Season 1. And, honestly, you have to agree with me when it comes to that, because pretty much all of the success that Attack on Titan Season 1 ended up gathering, all of that money was definitely poured into this first episode of Kabaneri and the Iron Fortress. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the animation is going to stick like this throughout. However, if it does, I'm going to be really impressed by Wit Studio. Really impressed. I mean, from this first episode, I saw no faults within the animation whatsoever. I mean, even the CGI look good with the trains. And if you saw in the beginning of the episode, there was that chain that was swinging within the train. Like, even that looks spot on. Like, it just shows you how Wit Studio really pays attention to detail. I mean, I am really skeptical as to what is going to go down in Attack on Titan Season 2's animation. Are they going to keep the same level of animation of Attack on Titan Season 1 and just implement that in Attack on Titan Season 2? Probably. It's probably not going to be as high quality as Wit Studio, but will this ruin the expectation that Attack on Titan fans have for the Attack on Titan series? Because after Attack on Titan fans end up seeing Kabaneri the Iron Fortress, because we gotta admit here, there are a lot of similarities between the two, because of the animation quality within a Kabaneri the Iron Fortress, will Attack on Titan fans end up being disappointed by Attack on Titan Season 2's animation when it does release? That's just a thought. Let me know in the comments. So now that I talked about the animation for quite a bit, let's actually discuss what Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is about. So what is it about? Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is set within the Industrial Revolution of Japan, and it is a steampunk series. And that is very cool in my personal opinion, because we really don't see a whole lot of steampunk series in general within anime, and it is very rare to find those in general. And, it's just something that is different from the norm and is a breath of fresh air in my personal opinion. So what we can gather from the first episode of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is that 20 years has... So what we can gather from the first episode of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is that 20 years have passed since a virus ended up breaking out to the point where it made a monstrous creature known as a Kabane. We really don't know if the virus is man-made or not yet, but a virus ended up breaking out, creating a monstrous creature known as Kabane, and pretty much this Kabane ended up infecting other people and turning them in Kabanes as well, kind of like how a zombie would through biting them, which Kabane in this series actually end up doing. That's how they mass produce themselves. Now, pretty much humankind has been, the majority of humankind has been wiped out, kind of like how in Attack on Titan, and pretty much people now reside within walls to protect themselves from the Kabane. And they trade throughout other countries through trains. However, even though humanity is residing itself within these walls and completely sheltered away from the outside world to where the Kabane reside in, humanity is still left at a disadvantage within these walls because pretty much anyone who enters the cities could end up being considered a Kabane if they are found with the virus. And if you are found with the virus, you are shot and killed on the spot, no questions asked. Now, there was a law that ended up taking place to the point where if you were suspected to be a Kabane, you were locked in jail and put under watch for 3 days. And within those 3 days, if no activity ended up coming about, like Kabane activity, then you would be free and set to go because you wouldn't be considered a Kabane. Now, it has gotten to the point where pretty much everyone within these walls does not completely trust each other because pretty much anyone could be a Kabane, and they completely ignore these laws. And if you are suspected to be a Kabane, you are shot and killed right on the spot. And we get to see that in this episode where we see one guy completely running away from these guards, telling them that, you know, I'm not a Kabane, I'm not a Kabane, you know, but they don't believe him. They don't trust him at all. They are not willing to take any risks, you know, because they don't want the rest of the city to be infected with the virus, and they shoot him on the spot, and it turns out that he wasn't a Kabane at all. Now, the main character of this series is named Ikuma, and he has pretty much gained the ability, or has made a weapon to end up fighting off the Kabane, and pretty much, I guess you have to hit them right in the heart, but he is the only one who has this type of weapon to actually reach the heart of the Kabane. Nobody else knows about this, so if anything, if people want to be able to fight the Kabane, they're going to have to mass produce this weapon. I'm just saying. Now, I'm going to get into spoiler territory for the end of this episode, so if you haven't checked out Kabaneri the Iron Fortress, I highly recommend you do before, you know, you end up being spoiled. So, time starts now. When it comes to the end of this episode, to where we see Ikuma end up becoming a Kabane himself, or almost becoming a Kabane, because he does end up getting bitten by them, you know, it seems like he has also created a contraption to fight back the virus. You know, we see him strap himself into some sort of contraption to where it puts a sling on his neck, and pretty much the rest of his body ends up being, you know, tightened. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is what we can expect, you know, how people are going to fight back the virus, but from what it seems like under severe stress, which we see Ikuma go through as he is pretty much contracting his whole body, you know, to the point where it almost breaks, you know, under severe stress could be the cure to actually fight back the virus of the Kabane. Now, that is just my opinion. I really don't know, but that is just from what I have gathered within this first episode. So yeah, I really enjoyed this first episode of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. It definitely left a good first impressions on me, and I'm really interested to seeing how the later episodes of this series will play out, but so far, I am really loving everything about this series. And when it comes to the animation I'm really enjoying as well. You know, it has a very nice touch when it comes to the animation, but I'm just worried that will Wit Studio be able to actually keep this same style of animation from episode 1 throughout the entirety of this series without any drops, because episode one's animation is going to be pretty hard to beat. I'm just saying. Now, when it comes to people's thoughts on if this is going to be a ripoff to Attack on Titan, or if this is pretty much just an anime used to promote Attack on Titan Season 2, pretty much just to keep fans under wraps for that series, I don't think it's both. Now, first, let's talk about the ripoff of Attack on Titan. Now, there are a lot of similarities within this series of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress that, you know, seem like it is paying homage to Attack on Titan, especially that one scene where we got the train plowing through the city wall, and we see the Kabaneri actually stand upon the wall, and everyone's looking up. Like, that looked exactly... that scene looked exactly like how the Colossal Titan was looking over the wall, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, as I stated before, there's a lot of similarities of Kabaneri and the Iron Fortress that seem like it's paying homage to Attack on Titan, but I don't really think it is considered a ripoff because this is a anime original. Sure, there's a lot of similarities, but for the most part, it's its own original story. Now, when it comes to promoting you know, the possible Attack on Titan Season 2 that we will end up getting in the near future, I don't really see this as a source as a promotion to Attack on Titan, because, I mean, why would they spend this amount of money for the presentation of this series just to promote Attack on Titan Season 2? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, the production value for this series has completely skyrocketed, you know, beyond Attack on Titan in general. So, that's just my 2 cents. Anyways, guys, that about does it for this video. Sorry if this review was sort of longer than my usual reviews. I just really wanted to give you my overall thoughts on people's opinions that I have been hearing when it comes to this series, and, you know, just my overall thoughts on what I thought about this first episode in general of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. So, please, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you thought about. So yeah, guys, anyways, guys, that about does it for this episode of... Anyways, guys, that about does it for my episode 1 review of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. I really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if this review was kind of long compared to my other reviews that I normally do, but I just really wanted to give you my overall impressions on what I thought about this first episode. And, you know, from what I have heard from other people talking about the series, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on, you know, my personal thoughts on how everything is being handled with this anime. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what you thought about this first episode of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, and are you looking forward to more? Let me know in the comments, and of course, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like. I would greatly appreciate it, and if you want to stick updated to my future content on this channel, please hit that red subscribe button below, and you will never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys. Love you all, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.